Welcome back to ATL Day Ones. I am Tenitra. This is Jarvis, and you might be wondering where we are today because you got a little bit of a different background and you see us in the same space. That's because we were out at Falcons open practice today, right here at the Benz. So thank you guys, as always, for stopping by. And we're going to give you that great Falcons coverage throughout, all the way up through training camp to the regular season. And the reason we're telling you that is because we want you guys to keep on subscribing on YouTube like you've been doing with all this great Falcons coverage and covering other sports in and around Atlanta. Also, of course, subscribe, like, follow us on YouTube, but don't forget about audio platforms. Wherever you download podcasts, check us out and give us a 5-star review. And speaking of 5-star reviews, Jarvis, I would give today's open practice and open media availability and press conference a 5-star. The Falcons did something really, really cool in an effort to really get their fans engaged. So in addition to the open practice, they allowed fans to ask questions to Coach Arthur Smith, and I thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah, it's like real cool because like at the end of the day, you want people to have feel a sense of community, right?
Yes.
When they come into the Mercedes Benz, because at the end that stuff is going to eventually transfer, right? Like when you're talking about crowds and you all coming to the games and being loud and trying to get some type of home field advantage. And I think that's at the end of the day, that's the goal for them. And another thing, just being on the sidelines, kind of snook off into the sweet level, kind of mixing it up a little bit. I actually got a chance to see Terry Fondo. He was talking to fans and just being a regular person and not being standoffish, because may have been how the previous regime was before they got on out of here. But I think that all of that put together was just a really good vibes today, really good feel about what's going on with this team, because there's a lot of newness, right? There's a lot of freshness to be back at the Biz. It's, we got really, it was just like our home on Sundays at 1 o'clock, being here and
back at the office.
Back at the office, right? Being in the routine. So I think that be back here today, and for the way the Falcons as an organization set up everything, and you got Arthur Smith even saying, "Hey, what's up?" to like people in the crowd and stuff, like, "Hey, coach, what's going on?" So, and Arthur Smith is not the most kind of like, I guess what a personality would say. He has his own personality, but he's not if you look at him, you're like, he might be a little bit standoffish, but that wasn't him. Like he was, very cordial and everything. I even asked him, and he had the red situation going on with the red fitted, how they had the red helmets and everything, so he had the hat to go with the red helmet. Like I asked him about, maybe give me one, but he kind of gave me a name that I couldn't even hear him. But I said, I'm trying to see if I can figure out a way to go get one of those hats, because they are super, super dope.
Yeah, and he gave us a sneak peek into his workout. Jarvis and I are all about that workout life, and Coach Smith gave us a sneak peek into what he does on his workout, just kind of getting here really early. And what that also told me was he was setting the tone. Kind of getting in here before everybody and setting the tone for himself, and then setting the tone for the rest of those players as far as what this is going to be like, because that's something we talked to the players about as well. What did it feel like being back in this building for some of them who hadn't been back in the building since the end of the regular season, but for others hadn't been back in the building since maybe an unfortunate injury. So it was interesting to kind of see what they were talking about in terms of this kind of being the unofficial beginning of their journey back into the Benz. So one guy that we had a chance to talk to today was Ade Ogundeji. Jarvis was able to get some conversation going with him one-on-one, and that's actually him talking right there to him. Right. We're going to post that for you, I promise. We're not going to keep it secret. We're not going to keep it a secret. We're going to post it for you. But just a quick snippet into your conversation with Ade, Jarvis. What was that like today?
You know what? The one thing I've always liked talking to young pass rushers and guys who coming into the league, because that's the thing that I feel like once you get into the league and kind of get a good grasp of how things work and how things flow, I think that you can be better. You can see that jump, because that's what we're going to be looking for from him in the year, that sophomore jump. Everybody, you hear coaches talk about it all the time. Dan Quinn was notorious for talking about that sophomore league. So, but I think that having a plan on 3rd and long, like I immediately asked him, like, hey, 3rd and long, what's your go-to move? And he was like, speed the swipe, boom, immediately. Like he rolled it off like it was clockwork. And that's how you have to be when you're a pass rusher. You got to know what you're doing on 3rd downs. You got to know how you're going to get to get home. And you got to know how you're going to put the quarterback on the ground before you can actually do it. So I think that he seemed like a guy that he's ready. And I tried to squeeze an answer out of him as far as
number.
give me a number as far as how many sacks you're gonna get. He said he wasn't gonna tell me right now, but he said he will. So I'm definitely have that for you guys. I gotta get that answer, like how many sacks you want to get this year, because everybody knows the Falcons need to get the quarterback on the ground.
Yeah, they definitely do. And you know who else was great to get an opportunity to talk to, and that was Kyle Pitts, because he's another one who really has talked a lot in the offseason about some of the things that he's been working on. I've actually had a chance to talk to him a couple times this offseason, and really for him, it's all of the little things, because Kyle Pitts definitely had a breakout season. You don't get to the Pro Bowl in your rookie year if you are not out there doing great things. But to hear him just have that same, really, I would say even next level intensity about how he wanted to improve his game. And the other thing he wants to do is get the timing right for himself, but everybody else in that tight end room. So as you guys know, Arthur Smith is all about that competition. So whether it's adding somebody most recently like a Cameron Batson to the wide receiver room, or adding more and more individuals to the tight end room, it's all about competition. But what I love about Kyle Pitts is he's embracing that competition, right? Embracing the opportunity to learn from an Anthony Ferguson, but also taking on the mantle of kind of being, and I said, he's a young veteran because we're only talking about 2 years in, but embracing the opportunity to provide some leadership and maybe give some lessons to some of the, not just the wide receivers or the tight ends, but really everybody on that offensive side of the ball who's in their rookie season, so that we can get them up to speed. And he's enjoying the time that he's having working under Marcus Mariota as well as a Desmond Ridder. And I even asked him about Desmond in particular because we were talking rookies, and he said he really likes the ball that Desmond Ridder throws. So again, you guys, as this offseason goes on into training camp, we can't wait to tell you more. And next week, come back next week, because we'll tell you about more of the conversations that we had with some of the players today. But when we come back, we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about some expansion that might be going on in one of our professional leagues. And we might be talking to you guys about a coach that says, well, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. If you want to hear about it, come back on the other side. It'll be For the Culture, because this is ATL Day Ones.